Welcome to the National Squash Centre Invitational, a PSA satellite tournament here at Unitec in Auckland. 8 players in each of the men's and the women's draws. This tournament put together quickly to give New Zealand players an event to take part in where they can earn prize money and also PSA ranking points. And first up there we have on court, it is Lwamba Chilisi, notable by the very white hair. He is the world number 3. Currently ranked 148 in the world. He's just 21 years old, and he is going to be up against, in the blue shirt, Leo Fatialofa, who has a current ranking of 385 in the world, just 17 years old, from the Henderson Squash Club in Auckland. Now these two players should have an entertaining match because you've got Leo Fatialofa, who is notable for his shot making at any stage of the point. So be prepared for that, whereas Leo Fatialofa will take his time throughout the points and guide it around from there. But of course, these players desperate for a tournament, and this tournament's been put on especially for them to get PSA ranking points. And here at the National Squash Centre, would like to say thank you very much for Sport New Zealand, High Performance Sport New Zealand, and of course Squash New Zealand for putting this on. Mainly Shelley Kitchen putting in a big lot of hours to get this event underway. So well done to everybody to get it going. And now also for the officials and referees here as well. And already a quick couple of points for Lwamba Chilisi getting underway. Obviously it's going to take a little while for all players. Haven't really played a match in anger as such, or a tournament in anger, for quite a number of weeks. And Leo Fatialofa, of course, did take part in the XL Squash League tournaments. That was just after the initial lockdown. Lwamba Chilisi was in the UK for a number of months, but then found that there was no tournaments there for him either, so it came back and will be taking part in, of course, the National Senior Champs in just over a month's time at the North Shore Club. Leo Fatialofa in a week's time will be in Christchurch for the National Junior Championships. And just going through the schedule for tonight, there is 4 matches, all men's matches tonight. The next match on court will be Elijah Thomas up against Joe Smythe. Then it's Glenn Templeton against Joel Ascott, followed by Sean Wigan against Tenwa Chilisi. So that is the schedule for tonight. Tomorrow, starting from 10 a.m, Ella Lash against Emma Miller, followed by Abby Palmer against Ashley Pepper. And then from 12:40 will be plate matches, a couple of those men's plate matches on this particular court, followed by the 2 men's semis. Women's semis a bit later on in the day, and then on a Sunday, finals day, starting from midday, we'll have consolation plate, 3rd and 4th playoffs, and then the women's final at 2:40 p.m. and the men's final at 3:20 p.m. So make sure you keep on watching, or if you're nearby, you can come along. There is still a bubble as such of about 100 people that you can come along and watch live as well. So Lwamba Chilisi and racing out to a 4-1 lead. Nothing too dramatic so far, just keeping it nice and steady. Now make that 5-1 lead. And he got the dud bounce there, just seemed to miss that one. What you'll see here is Lwamba Chilisi just moving forward as much as he can. Just textbook stuff at the moment. I haven't seen the shot making yet from Leo Fatialofa. No doubt it will come. So we did have the 1 shot there for a winner for Fatialofa, now on 2 points. Let's see what he can do from here. There's the whippy forehand, pushing Chilisi into the back corner. And out, 8-2. Now this match after 5 o'clock, but it's still pretty warm in Auckland. It's been around about 18 degrees. So good for the players, and the bounce of the ball, not too bad. Oh, nice boast there. And so Fadialofa getting the stroke there. It was initially a nice boast, and then Fadialofa moving forward well. But it was Chilisi wasn't getting out of the way in time. And if you're seeing on the screen 8-2, it is in fact 9-3 to Louis Chilisi. And now to 10-3 and game ball. So the first game going fairly smoothly so far for Chilisi. Oh, but then a 10 as soon as we say it. Put the curse on him. So it is now 10-4. So let's see what Fadialofa can do. Can he come back from here and cause a little bit of trouble for his higher-ranked opponent? Ooh. There we go. That is the first game. Chilisi 11-4. As you'd expect, relatively straightforward. What we are talking about here is someone ranked 148 in the world, the New Zealand number 3, up against someone ranked, well, 385, the teenager Leo Fadialofa against Lawamba Chilisi, who is 21 years old, and the first game 11-4 to Lawamba Chilisi. Just to let you know, the players in the women's section who will take the court as of tomorrow morning. We have Abby Palmer, she is the New Zealand number 2 at 113, Emma Miller 115. There's Lauren Clark from the Bay of Plenty, Katie Templeton also from the Bay of Plenty, Lana Harrison from Auckland, Natalie Sayers, Ella Lash and Ashley Pepper. So the majority of those players do have PSA rankings, whereas in the men's draw, every player has a PSA ranking. So that's good to see there as well, and I'm sure they want to continue using this tournament to gain a few more points and improve their PSA rankings as much as they can. So from what you're actually seeing on court at the moment, that isn't the correct score. The correct score is actually first game to Lawamba Chilisi 11-4. So the New Zealand number 3 behind Paul Cole, obviously at number 5 in the world. And then we have Evan Williams, ranked around about the 80 mark. And of course with Campbell Grayson retiring, Lawamba Chilisi is at the 3rd ranked Kiwi male professional at the moment. And he has taken the first game 11-4 over Leo Fadialofa. Fairly tame first game. Fadialofa only really finding his rhythm in a few points, just a couple points here and there, only really hitting a couple of winners. But that's what's going to happen now in the first tournament for these players for quite some time. So coming back on the court now is Lawamba Chilisi, and following him onto the court, Leo Fadialofa.
Chilisi leads 1 game to love.
So now the start of the second game with Chilisi with the serve from the forehand side. Oh, and there we go, the first point. A little bit of a hesitation there in his step, Fadialofa. There didn't appear to be any injury. And nice control. moving forward. Jalisi taking the ball early and picking off his ankle, so that is a 2-love. And a much better point by Fadialova. Good to get on the scoreboard early. He trailed quite significantly in the first game. It was down 1-5, made that 1-6. And managed to get 4 points in that first game. Oh, an opportunity there. Stretch for it on the backhand on the drop, but hit the tin. So now the score is 3-1, Luamba Jalisi. Yep, and able to put that one away. The first few shots of that rally were kept very low, and then Fadialova just flicked one up too high. And Jalisi, it seems from his experience overseas in the UK of late, really concentrating on moving forward, although an error there. And just to keep you up to date with the score, it is 2-5. And Jalisi took the first set 11-4 and now has the lead 5-2 in the second. Nice touch there by Fadialova, and again pushing him into the corner. Great coverage, Jalisi. And well played. Took the pace off the ball, dropped it into the forehand corner. Fadialova, for all of his speed, just could not get there. And score now 7-3. It just looks as though Jalisi is looks as though Jalisi has just learnt with his 6 months or thereabouts over in the UK just how to control the point, and even against a shot maker such as Fadialova, he is able to control the point. Take his time. Fadialova just working his way back in. A couple of points here. Won 4 points in the first, but 11-4 the actual game. So looks as though we have the scoreboard back on your screen, correct and up to date. Oh, nicely played. What you could see there is a very flat shot. In fact, really is keeping all the balls very flat, making it difficult. Is Jalisi, and then bringing out the error.
9-3.
So one back for Fadialova. He's got his 4 points in this game, equal what he got in the first. And Jalisi not overly amused with himself there. Both players haven't really got into gear It's been somewhat subdued by their standards. But this rally got a lot more energy in it. Little boast there by Farialova and the drop. And the game ball, but Farialova will be annoyed with himself here. The drop shot opportunity could have gone anywhere. So it gets one more point than the first game. A couple of little errors creeping into Chilisi. The big shot, and Farialova just turns around nonchalantly, flicks it back. And there we go, not up on that one. So there is the second game going the way of Luamba Chilisi. Took the first 11-4 and now the second 11-5. So 2-game to love lead there. This the first of 4 this evening. Just keeping you up to date in these matches. Plenty of squash over the next 3 days. As we said, tomorrow starting from 10 a.m. there's a full round of men's and women's matches, and then on Sunday we have the playoffs and also the finals as well. So 2-game to love so far for Luamba Chilisi over Leo Farialova. So now back for this, the third game. Luamba Chilisi ranked 148th in the world up against Leo Farialova, who is 385th. 17-year-old still at Auckland Grammar. Luamba Chilisi now at 21 years old. Seems like he's been around the game for a little while, but he has been trying to improve his PSA ranking, albeit that COVID put a bit of a dampener on that. Now back in the country, getting ready for the national championships in just a couple of weeks' time. Make that 4 weeks' time at the North Shore Club. So Farialova took the first point of this, the third game. Both players working themselves into the points, but the odd error coming through when perhaps it isn't forced. It's only occasionally, such as that point, that we've seen Farialova pull off his winning shots that he's so well known for. At times almost looking like he's not enthusiastic behind the ball, but we all know that he's just a very good athlete who can hit any shot any time.
Down. 3-1. Down. And out. 2-3.
So much better start for Paddy Loafer in this, the third game. Just a matter of whether he's consistent enough, and as we speak, he's not.
3-4.
So back from a handy lead now to a 3-all.
And out.
And both players making mistakes. This is what happens when you haven't really played a proper tournament for quite some time. And 4-3. So Farialofa working his way back into this point.
Yes, left.
And a let call.
4-3.
Still has that 1 point advantage. Let's see if he can move forward and try and dominate the tee as he did then. A nice shot by Chalisi, forcing him into the corner. Ball not quite bouncing in that corner as well. And back up 2 equal scores. And lifting the ball too high there. Meant to push Chalisi into the backhand, into the back part of the court on the forehand side, but the ball was lifted too much. And that lead is now gone.
And out. 5-all.
But it seems that every time we say that, well, it's the commentator curse. Much better work by Farialofa, taking his time on the shots. Usually it's around about 4 or 5 before he decides to go for the winner. But on that occasion, pushing it down the backhand corner and deep into that backhand of Chalisi. And it was Chalisi who made the mistake, flicking into the 10. Now this is it. He's going to play the backhand corner again, most likely. Much better rally by Farialofa.
Stroke to Chalisi. And out.
And there we go. A nice point there for Chalisi. Came back in the end with the stroke.
Down.
Oh,
And out.
really an unforced error.
7-6.
Neither player really showing forth in this, the third game. Seems to me that they'll work their way into the rally and then try too much or not try enough.
Not up. And out.
And that rally, much better depth, much better tactics as well by both players.
Down. And out.
And as you can see there, Farialofa,
8-7.
his casualness that he shows is not actually the way he plays. He looks casual, but he's very intense when he's playing the points. Doesn't like losing. He just has a lot of talent, and sometimes too much. He doesn't actually know what to do with it. And we're really seeing the errors creep into Lawamba Chalisi at the moment.
9-7.
Perhaps what he should be doing is focusing on longer points. He knows how Fatialofa plays. And now we have a 9-7 lead. That's the 2-point lead. Make that 3 and a game ball. So Leo Fatialofa has clawed his way back into the third game and into the match. So 10-7. Nice play by the Henderson teenager. Prefect at Auckland grabber. And well done. 11-7. With a number of errors creeping into Chalisi's game, really helping Fatialofa out there. So well done for Leo Fatialofa taking the game 11-7. We'll be back very shortly with the fourth game between these two players. The New Zealand number 3, Lawamba Chalisi, and Leo Fatialofa, ranked 385 in the world.
Chalisi leads 2-1. Fatialofa to serve. Love all.
Now back for the fourth game of this, the first match of the National Squash Centre Invitational PSA Satellite Tournament here at Unitec. And a nice comeback in the third game for Leo Fatialofa, the teenager, winning at 11-7 after dropping the first two 4 and 5. And Chalisi looked as though he could really run away with this match. However, a number of unforced errors by the senior player in the third game gave Fatialofa the opportunity, and he certainly took it. It'll be interesting to look at the tactics now of Chalisi, who certainly sped that rally up, pushing his opponent to all corners of the court.
1-all.
Oh,
Yeah.
an interesting bounce.
2-1.
As I said earlier, the temperature here in Auckland is, it's been a good day, around about 18 degrees, so no worries about the cold or the heat.
Hand out.
And there's one of those errors that crept into the game for Luamba Chilisi in the third, and it gave Leo Farialofa the opportunity to take that third game. Certainly interesting to see Luamba Chilisi back on the court in New Zealand after a number of months away, training in the UK, but now back on equal pegging. And certainly Luamba was very pleased to get back on the court and play competitive matches. This tournament is 8 men and 8 women. And a nice shot. Firstly, oh, great recovery. That's what we want to see. There was some great shot making there. And certainly Farialofa will be ruining that one. He had his opponent all over the court. What you also see from Farialofa is the away from the body shot.
5-3.
Seems to specialise in playing an inside-out kind of forehand away from his body. Quite hard to read. A little bit unorthodox, you might say, as well. And now the errors appear to be creeping into Farialofa's game. And you can see that Luamba Chilisi is now trying to speed up each point. Or tricky drop shot there. Both players keeping each other in the backhand forward corner.
7-3.
But now that 7-3 lead. Let's just see whether he can increase the pace of the point again, Chilisi. Pushing the ball right back into the corners where it's going to fade a bit. And into that backhand corner. Now he's taking the ball on the full. He's got the advantage, Chilisi. Oh, he had the advantage. And the frustration of throwing his racket up in the air. Almost hit himself in the head with that. So 1 point back for Leo Farialofa. Now 4-7. And the winning backhand volley for 8-4. Again, not wanting to stop, not wanting to wait in between the points. Luamba Chilisi keen to get this one over and done with. Just taking his time in this point, though. And well done on that point, controlling it.
9-4.
So certainly has the advantage now to take it out in 4 games.
Down. 10-4. Match ball.
And there we go, match ball. Oh,
Stroke Leslie.
and a stroke there on the match ball. So it is 11-4, 11-5, 7-11, and 11-4. The victory there for the top seed. And the New Zealand number 3, Luamba Chilisi, defeating Leo Farialofa, as we said, 11-4, 11-5, 7-11, and 11-4. The next match, well, that should be on in just a few moments, and that will feature 2 17-year-olds, Elijah Thomas, who is currently ranked 259 in the world, up against Joe Smythe, ranked 595 in the world. Those 2 players will be on the court in the next few minutes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the National Squash Centre Invitational PSA Satellite Tournament here at Unitec. And we're into the second encounter, the second match. Joe Smythe in the purple up against Elijah Thomas in the bright orange. Two 17-year-olds. Elijah Thomas, though, appears to have been around the senior tour for quite some time, around New Zealand, that is. Currently ranked 259th. Just 2 spots down from his career high. And Joe Smythe, 595, basically starting out on the PSA rankings. And Elijah Thomas, well, earlier in the year, he was runner-up in the Henderson Open. He lost to Evan Williams in the final of that tournament. Of course, he was also a finalist, beaten finalist in 5 dramatic games here on this court against Glenn Templeton in the National Junior Final, and we'll be back in just over a week in Christchurch for the under-19s as well. And so just in the early stages of this, the first game, and it'll just take a little while, as we saw in the first match as well, which was Luamba Chalisi coming through. And we saw Luamba Chalisi coming through in 4 games over Leo Fatialofa, 11-4, 11-5, 7-11, 11-4. And players just taking a little while to warm up into playing a competitive match again. Elijah Thomas certainly had plenty of matches after the first lockdown, playing in the Squash XL and Squashable tournament, the league that was there and going on the glass court at Squash XL. Plenty of matches there over the 4 weeks. Let's see what he can do against an opponent of the similar age, but different ranking. Pushing his opponent Smythe right into the backhand, make that the back corner of the forehand. And great to be joined by Luamba Chalisi, who's just come off the court. 4-gamer off the court, and now joining me here. And Luamba, great to have you with us. How did you feel after that match?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. Kind of mixed emotions especially after that third game. Obviously, being the first tournament back, it was hard to know what to expect. Hard to know how much Leo had been training, and but yeah, I just went on kind of with the mindset just to play aggressive and really focus on what I've been working on the last couple of months. And yeah, I'm overall happy with my performance, and props to Leo for a good game.
So when was the last tournament, I guess I'll say in anger, that you actually played? I mean, you've trained, goodness knows how much you've trained.
Yeah.
But whether in New Zealand or the UK, but when was that last actual PSA tournament?
My last one was in February in the States. So that was, 6 months, 7 months ago.
And there is a difference, isn't there, between training, competitive matches and training versus competitive match with PSA points and officials, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. It's been quite tough over the last couple of months, especially with everything being cancelled, like having tournaments that we're training for, or if we're peaking for a tournament and we're doing less training that week and then it gets cancelled, it kind of ruins the rhythm a little bit. So it's been quite tough to stay motivated and keep training every day and doing everything right. But yeah, very, very thankful to you guys in Squash New Zealand for hosting the tournament this week and getting something going.
Yeah, well, you'll have this tournament, and I think there's a couple of local tournaments around before the national champs, which is at the end of October.
Yeah.
So at least you've got something to aim for there. I think, well, obviously everybody's aiming for the
Yeah,
national
yeah.
champs, and particularly with Paul Cole not around, it does make things a little bit
opens
easier.
it up a bit. Yeah.
Sharing the title around, I'm sure someone like Evan Williams in Wellington will be keen to finally get that as well. But yeah, that is something that everybody's aiming for, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, October's a pretty busy month for us, and it's the busiest month that we've had for a while. I got a bit of doubles in there with Auckland doubles as well, which is quite cool.
I heard you talking to Shelley Kitchen before you played, and have you sorted out a partner? Because you'd think that people would be knocking on your door.
Nah, so I've got a men's partner. Obviously, I'm going to play with my brother, so that was easy. Yeah, I've been struggling to find a mixed doubles partner though. I've actually been rejected 3 times. So if there's anyone out there that wants to play mixed doubles with me, I'd be happy to.
Should I ask who's rejected you?
No comment.
Okay. That's great. It's only the New Zealand number 3 but been rejected to play doubles. So obviously they don't think much about your doubles. Let's have a little look at this particular match now. And here we go. In this particular one, we have...
So we got Elijah Thomas versus Joe Smythe. So they're both junior players still.
Yeah, both 17-year-old. I thought Elijah must... Every time I check on his age, I think, no, he's not 17 still.
Yeah.
Quite amazing that he seems to have played so much senior squash for someone of a 17-year-old, and now with a 7-4 lead as well. These two players are playing different squash to what you and Leo did.
Yeah.
Always with Leo, you know that he might just pull off a winning shot out of nowhere and force unforced errors on you, whereas these two players are a bit more longer rallies, waiting for the mistake a bit more, aren't they?
Yeah. Definitely, I think these two players are not really have similar games, but it's definitely a lot different to mine and Leo's game. Obviously, like you said, with Leo, you can expect a winner from anywhere. Whereas Elijah's more like me. He kind of likes to volley a lot, tries to stay in front, take the ball as early as possible. But Joe, however, I haven't had much to do with Joe, but from the last 2 months, I've had a couple sessions with him with the New Zealand squads, and or just playing games and stuff. And he seems to have a really nice hold. Has quite high squash IQ, like places the ball really well, uses lifts really well as well. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I've never seen these two play before, so yeah, it'll be good.
With your particular match, there seemed to be quite a few unforced errors came in that third game in particular. You know, you were in the rally, but then the intensity either dropped away, or where did those unforced errors come from?
Yeah, so it's when you're on court, it's quite hard to realise that, but I'm quite lucky I had John watching my match, and he gave me a bit of a recap at the end. But I think it was just, in the first 2 games, I was playing very aggressive, like I was in front of him a lot of the time. And then I ended up playing too much of a medium pace in the third game, which meant that I wasn't taking time away from him at all. And then when I started to try and go for shots, because he was right there, I was trying to force it a little bit too much, and it just made a few unforced errors. Or there were times where he would hit a shot and I would decide too late to take it early, and then mishit it, mistime it, and then it'd hit the tin or hit the sidewall.
Well, let's just see if Elijah Thomas can wrap this first game up. And into the rally here. Just taking his time, Elijah Thomas. And pushing him into the backhand corner. Let's see if the chop. And
Cross-court drop to finish.
He's quite emotive on the court, is Elijah Thomas. Doesn't mind talking to himself. Very much like Joel Ascott as well. Very much talking to themselves, berating themselves if they make an error, or if they hit a winner, telling themselves to keep going. We certainly have seen a lot more emotion out of Elijah over the last year or so. In the past, he was fairly quiet, and now it's really come out. But taking that first one there, 11-5, that's Elijah Thomas over Joe Smythe. And we'll be back in with the second game in just a moment. And now both players back on court. In the orange, we have Elijah Thomas, 17-year-old, up against fellow 17-year-old in the purple, Joe Smythe from Bay of Plenty. And it was the first game going to Elijah Thomas, 11-5. Fairly steady sort of game. And with me at the moment, though, is Lawamba Chilisi, who won in 4 games in his match over Leo Fatialofa. And Lawamba, how are the courts playing? Are they, I mean, the temperature today has been around about 17, 18, so not hot, not cold. Are these courts playing well?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little bit hot in there. I do think the ball slowed down a little bit towards the end of our match, and I'm not sure if these guys got a new ball, but it seems to be, kind of that medium kind of temperature, so pretty true, pretty good. Hits quite well.
And for you, after you dropped that third game to Leo Fatialofa, you said that you were having a bit of trouble. You were just playing sort of medium pace, but you seem to up the tempo in that fourth one to start with anyway.
Yeah, so obviously with the help of John in between games, gave me the recap again, and just reminded me that I was forcing, or just told me, sorry, that I was just forcing it too much, and just to try and stay relaxed and still push up on the ball, but just try and get him behind me before I go short, which worked, I think, because when you're in that situation, you're making mistakes. Most of the time, it's because you're forcing it, or it's not the right shot to play. And I think that's what happened to me in the third. I was just forcing it a bit too much because he wasn't too far behind me enough.
I've got to say, a great recovery from Elijah Thomas in this rally. I'm sure Joe Smythe thought he had it several occasions. Some good athletic ability by Elijah Thomas.
Nice hole punch there. Oh.
Both players doing a tremendous amount of work.
And out.
Great rally there.
1-3.
I think that deserved a clap.
Yeah. Well, we're only allowed 100 people. We haven't quite got that, but I mean, the great thing is we've been able to actually hold this tournament and get it underway at the very last moment and give players an opportunity to actually earn some PSA ranking points. It's certainly a different type of match compared to yours, Lawamba. These rallies are long, to put it mildly.
Yeah, this is almost some PSA World Tour stuff, you know, just been watching the Manchester Open, and this is the feeling I felt when I was watching that stuff. Oh, but
Yes, left, right box, 1-3.
be interesting to see what Joe does here. He said a few long rallies, kind of both been running a little bit, so both got into each other's legs a little bit. It's crucial points here.
The test of physical fitness, but also of physicality as well when you start playing these sort of rallies. I mean, as you've no doubt experienced, whether it was at the World Teams Champs or as you start moving up a bit, it does get physical. You are bumping into each other. There is a fair bit of that, and you can see Paul Cole playing against some of the Egyptians or you know, some of the other top pro players. They are hitting each other a bit. It's not just been whether you can run, isn't it?
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that's very true, especially if you play a shot and put yourself out of position, which is obviously very easy to do against those Egyptians, and they will take anything to just punish you. So you do have to be careful.
Well, particularly someone like Joe, who's, you know, who is only young. He's lean. Elijah has grown. He's got taller, filled out a little bit more. We were certainly commenting on your brother's physique during the tournaments at Excel. That it doesn't matter if anybody runs into him or if he runs into anybody else.
Yeah, so this is all from those couple of hard rallies at the start, and it was crucial for Joe just to really stay mentally strong. And obviously, with Elijah being the high-ranked player, he's quite used to this, so he's made the most of his opportunity. But we'll see if Joe Smythe can bring something out here and come back.
Well, this is where, albeit that they're similar ages, the experience of playing against male men rather than boys, in the nicest possible way there, but Elijah Thomas is playing against men all the time, and quite often professional men or ones that have professional rankings. And that's just the way things are. He is a young player, Elijah, and you have Joe Smythe, a younger player in many ways.
Yep. I think Elijah got quite a lot of experience, especially last year. Played a lot of PSA satellites, playing some overseas players, but also us as well. So yeah, it does make a big difference having that experience. And it's obviously showing here in this game.
Also using the corners there, just moving his opponent, moving Smythe around a little bit more, taking another shot, just taking his time to try and win it. He doesn't have to win it in the first 5 shots. There's no reason for that, just like then. And 11-2, that is a game 2. So 11-5, 11-2 for Elijah Thomas. And looking very good in this match, staying out on court. Wanted to practice a couple of shots. No, he's back off now. And even when he did win, he was still talking to himself and pushing himself along. When he lost the point, albeit only 2 of them, he was frustrated. Yep. And Luamba, when you lose a point or a game, in the case of your match, how do you get yourself back on track?
Yeah, well, there's a few strategies for this, which I have kind of learnt over the past year or so. And one of them is if it's a shot where I've hit it down, then I'll ghost the shot, just to kind of train my brain. It's kind of like identifying the problem and then trying to resolve it. So yeah, I just have ghosting the shot is one of the ways I resolve that. Another way is just taking a deep breath, you know, maybe walking to the front wall or walking to the back wall. It's just taking a bit more time in between rallies, which the refs don't like all the time.
No.
But yeah, it's just, for me, it's just kind of, and a lot of my matches, it's like a recurring thing. So it'll be specific shots from specific positions that I miss time or make mistakes on consistently. And so there's always something I do for that specific shot in the match just to kind of clear my mind almost. So it depends on the individual, but yeah, that's just some stuff that I do.
Because someone like Paul Cole, he has to slow himself down. He spoke about that
Yeah.
during the week. That he really has to slow himself down because he's such a
So
worker.
aggressive.
That
Yeah,
you've
exactly.
trained with him, and you can see he's just so intense.
Gets too hyped up.
Yeah, that he has to slow himself down, and people have different methods for doing that. Whereas someone like, say, Campbell Grayson appears to be a lot more relaxed, but he's got his different ways as well, and it's interesting seeing how people do it. And back on court now for the third game, and certainly Elijah Thomas looking very businesslike, looking like he just wants to wrap this up in straight. He has played a lot of matches this year, despite the fact that we had all the COVID lockdowns and shutdowns. Earlier in the year, he played the Super Series around Auckland, and was runner-up in the Henderson Open to Evan Williams. Played in the Auckland Open. Played in, I believe he played in Eden Ipsen as well. He certainly played in 2 or 3 of those tournaments. And then at the tournaments, the unsquashable tournaments as well, all 4 weeks of those. So he's had plenty of squash. Just a little bit of a slide there going into that forehand there. So let's see what Smythe can do after taking the first point. A little bit of a false step, but a good shot. The false step by Elijah Thomas going forward and sliding into the forehand. Although I haven't seen any high balls there. That, just as I was about to say it, there was 3 of them in a row.
Another long rally. These guys seem to have some quite big rallies at the start of the games.
And it's a test of the fitness and also mental fitness, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think for Elijah, he's just going to try and show his presence and shows that he's dominant on court, especially after rallies like these. Just to kind of show Joe that he's not going to back off and he's going to keep the pressure on. Joe needs to find a way to get back in front of Elijah, obviously by either slowing it down or moving Elijah a bit more, but being able to cover his shots as well. So it's very tough being in Joe's position at this stage, playing a higher player. But he just needs to stick to his game plan and keep trying to push on and perform better.
A lot of players, we see the Egyptians in particular, the top guys that we see at the Manchester Open, using the high ball or the lob as almost an attacking weapon.
Yep.
Has it become that way? That it is now almost an attacking weapon if you're good enough using a high ball?
Yeah, I'd agree with that, definitely. Especially if you think about it and you play the shot, you play the lob, and then you're setting up for your next attacking shot, then it can definitely be classed as an attacking shot. And that's why I think people, a lot of juniors especially, don't really get until they turn pro and until they go through these experiences and play higher players and get dominated. When they that's kind of when they start to figure things out like that. Like the lob can be an attacking shot. Definitely, yeah.
Because we're also seeing a lot of players try and take the ball on the full as much as possible. It surprises me sometimes with Paul Cole that he doesn't mind running back and actually taking the ball a little bit later, but he's got that fitness that he can do it, so that's his confidence. But you'll see some of the players, whether it's Simon Rossner from Germany or other ones that just want to go forward and take it on the full.
Yeah.
That's the mentality, shorten the point, take it on the full.
Yeah, I think Elijah seems to be hunting the ball well. He's kind of developing that sort of mentality, which is good to see. And
Elijah's got the control at this point as well. Interesting on that forehand winner. He didn't have to hit it too hard. It was a solid hit. didn't have to overdo it.
Yeah, we kind of held it a little bit and then punched it long. So he obviously had great awareness of where Joe was. Saw him going forward, and at the last minute, just had to punch it straight, and he got the perfect amount of pace on the ball.
And you can see the perspiration coming off both players. And Joe Smythe, their glasses getting a little bit fogged up.
I do not miss wearing glasses at all.
Yes.
It's a very nice lift.
It
Joe
slowed
must
the
be out of
point down,
hands.
didn't it? Got him back into position.
Yeah, got him back in front, reset the point. Let's do it again here. Last one was a very good example. He played the cross-court lob and forced Elijah to actually jump, play a loose shot, and then he won the point off the next shot. So
We're certainly learning in the way he's developing the points. If he could just carry it on, he's forcing a couple of errors out of Elijah, as we just saw. And just perhaps trying to push that one a bit too much. Didn't need to go quite for that shot. That one, it was on, but it just hit the top of the tin.
yeah, exactly. Those are those ones where you're just either holding it too late or in the wrong position to play the shot, and should just play a long shot. But yeah, it's probably a bit mentally drained at the moment, Joe. So
Well, you had a few of those in your third game as well. It appeared that
yeah, the same
you
thing.
had
Yeah.
the point, but maybe just pushed it or held it too long.
Yeah. It's quite hard to come back from that as well, because especially if you're a player who relies on quite a lot of momentum, and then you make one or two of those mistakes where, like, you solo or you're in training, you're hitting them all the time, and then come a match, just clips the top of the tin because you've just mistimed it. It's very frustrating. Interesting call.
I didn't seem too concerned about it. I think he was aware that it was hopeful.
Yeah, I think especially in PSA, they're trying to enforce people to, or encourage players to play the ball when they can. So yeah, it's a fair call. Very tight, great shot.
Yeah, he played the ball quite well as Joe Smythe there when the ball was lobbed really long and high. Played it quite well, but it still gave Elijah Thomas plenty of time to control the next couple of shots.
Squeeze, great shot. There's been a few tight backhand drops from both players, especially in this last game.
Good for Smythe to come back and get 5 points again. Just give him confidence. Even if he loses it from here, it is match ball, but just every point you get is going to be good for your confidence. And there we go, though. That is it. 11-5, 11-2, 11-5. And Elijah Thomas through to the next round. Well done to Joe Smythe, acknowledged there by Elijah Thomas. And the 17-year-old found the Bay plenty. Beaten in straight games, but forced a few points there out of Elijah Thomas and made Thomas play some long rallies. The one, but I'll let you go, and you've got Joel Ascott next against Glenn Templeton. Those two have played a lot of late. And then your brother, Temwa, up against Sean Wigan. That'll be interesting. It's kind of fascinating that Wigan is the oldest in the men's draw at 25. Gee, you're the second oldest, actually, at 21.
Yep.
That's
You wouldn't pick Sean to be the oldest. If you were to look to pick, I'd probably say Glenn or Leo.
exactly. When you see Glenn, all 6'5" of him or anything like that, but
Yeah.
he's still very much a teenager. So thank you very much for your time, and all
Thanks
the best
for
for the
having
rest
me.
of the tournament.
Thank you
And,
very much.
Well done on your win tonight. Well, welcome into this, the third contest of the National Squash Centre Invitational PSA Satellite Tournament at Unitec in Auckland. 8 men's players in the draw and 8 women. This is the third contest so far tonight. Lawamba Chilisi beating Leo Fatialofa in 4 games in the first. And the second match, well, that was Elijah Thomas in straight games over Joe Smythe. This now the third contest, and you have in the red, it is Joel Ascott, ranked at 233 in the world, and he's 20, turning 21 next month, up against Glenn Templeton in the blue, the 18-year-old, still 18, turning 19 next month. He's got a PSA ranking of 355 in the world at the moment, and certainly these players have played quite a lot of late in the unsquashable league. And so far it is Glenn Templeton who has raced out to a 5-love lead. And 5-love. What we've seen from Joel Ascott in the past is a very good fight back. Right, so as we were mentioning before, Joel Ascott is known for his fight backs. And he was down love at 5 in this, the first game, against Glenn Templeton, and that is Joel Ascott in the red against Glenn Templeton from the Katikati Club in the blue. And joining me for her comments, Shelley Kitchen. And Shelley, well done on putting this together at a very quick notice. Good to have a PSA tournament for the players.
Yeah, hi Dave. Yeah, it's really good. We've had a couple of cancellations recently because of COVID. We had a PSA Spring Series sort of lined up for our players in Auckland, some Auckland tournaments, and unfortunately they've been postponed or cancelled. So yeah, we established that the players really needed some high-level competition going into our senior nationals in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, pretty late notice, but it's really great that all the players have committed to coming to play this weekend.
Well, what Lawamba Chilisi won in 4 against Leo Fatialofa was very much a shot maker, but Lawamba said to me that it just took a little while to get into a competitive match. It was his first PSA tournament of any stature since February. So when you think about that, you know, it's all very nice to play matches in practice, but this is different. This is actually having to win because you want to move through to the next round.
Yeah, there's prize money on the line here. There's world ranking points as well. Like you said, they haven't played a world ranking tournament since February. So we've actually had some open tournaments after the first lockdown that these players have played regionally or all around New Zealand. But yeah, this is the first PSA for a little while. So these guys are chasing points.
Well, I think they're also chasing that national title as well. It's around about a month away, or just over a month, at the North Shore Club. Particularly for the men, well, and the women as well. They're missing the 2 players who have won them so often, and Paul Cole and Joelle King won't be able to play as the PSA circuit overseas has started back up. So it's an opportunity for someone like Lawamba to actually maybe try and take that national title, although Evan Williams will no doubt be not so keen on them trying to do that. And also in the women's, you know, you've got the 3 to 4 top women here, and Abby Palmer and Emma Miller. There's also Lana Harrison as well, who will be the main people looking for that title, particularly without Joelle there as well. So opportunities are there for the players. And as we see on court now, Glenn Templeton just moving around. Oh, but that one just dropping low in the forehand corner. But prior to that, Templeton moving around and controlling the rallies quite nicely.
Yeah, Glenn sort of had a really good start in this game, really. I think he was up 5-love, and sort of Joel sort of is probably wondering what's really happened. So one more point for Glenn in his up game ball. So yeah, Joel's got to really sort of knuckle down here, I think, tighten up a little bit as well. Glenn loves playing those shots when anything's loose. So yeah, Joel's got to try and just really knuckle down and try and tighten up and keep. Yeah, so that's 3 forehand kills winners there from Glenn. So if I was Joel's coach, I'd be saying definitely keep it out of that forehand middle of the court.
One thing that was notable during the Unsquashable series was that Joel didn't seem to mind coming back all the time, because he quite often found himself down in a game or in a match and seemed to find the fight to come back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if it does.
Yeah, you know, if you lose that first game, it's not really such a, big deal. I guess Joel might be just trying to make the rallies a little bit longer. Yeah.
And there you go. Well, that's the first one. It is 11-4. Glenn Templeton in a very good form. And like you said there, Shelley using his forehand to good effect. And you just don't play it to Glenn Templeton's forehand with a bit of time, because he's just got to use all the power he needs to actually just plaster it down the forehand side and every now and then across court as well. So 11-4 there. Back with the second game in just one moment.
Templeton leads 1 game to love. Lovell.
And back now for the second game with Glenn Templeton in the blue up against Joel Ascott in the red. Templeton using his forehand, particularly the forehand down the line, to really help him in the first game. Let's see whether Joel can work his way back into the rallies. He was a little bit off in that first, kept on feeding it to the forehand of Templeton. And just taking his time in this rally now. Templeton at times doesn't seem to move so much around the court, but he's a big guy, able to take a couple of steps and work his way across the court. But hitting that forehand into the tin, perhaps just forcing it a little bit too much. So first point to Joel Ascott. using the lifted ball to get himself back into position. It's Templeton. Backhands down the line. And the cross court from Templeton. Just that nice forehand down the line that he plays so well. And the drop, very good drop from Templeton. Make it back to 1 apiece. And I would mention with Luamba Chilisi that the temperature outside today in Auckland about 17, 18 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. Fairly warm inside these courts. And these players are really getting up a bit of a sweat. And Templeton will be in Christchurch later in the week for the National Junior Champs. He is the under-19 champion, won in 5 games in the final over Elijah Thomas last year on these courts here. And Joel Ascott not happy with himself there. The stroke against him. And now the 3-1 lead for Templeton, and this the second. And Shelley, when you see someone like Glenn Templeton on the court, perhaps it's just his size, but he doesn't actually seem to move that well, but he does. He's able to get to the ball with just a couple of strides, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just a couple of strides to each corner, really. So I think you just have to be moving in front and back, I think. And yeah, like that shot there, it's just like one step to the front of the court. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, having some height and a good reach can be good, but also a lot of the Egyptian female players, they're not tall at all, but they seem to do so well. Whereas you get someone like Joel King, who's very tall, and you know, it's not necessarily that one is more the advantage than the other, is it?
Yeah, there's definitely different styles of sort of players and builds, I guess, of the game. I know the Egyptians, if you're usually quite not as tall, you sort of usually be really quite fast around the court. Whereas if you're quite tall, like I was when I played, it's a really quite long way down to get drops and things like that to the front of the court.
It's a much better point there with the boast and the angle there from Joel Ascott. See whether he can work his way back in now.
Yeah, I think he sort of seemed to have calmed down a little bit, straightening it up a little bit. Glenn, he's sort of keeping Glenn, I think, to the back of the court and has stopped Glenn from volleying a little bit.
That was a longer rally. And I think that's what Joel will be wanting to do. He's a very fit person, whether it's cycling or whether it's training for squash. Not saying that Glenn isn't, but that is one of the strengths of Joel, albeit that mistake there. That was a real hit to the tin. It wasn't just the top. That was that was in the middle of it.
Yeah. I think Joel will be really pretty frustrated with himself right now. He's been doing a lot of work throughout both lockdowns. So it was this is a good sort of chance to get to see how he has been going. That's a really good rally.
Yeah, well done.
Getting the ball in the corners a little bit more.
Tell me, Shelley, Joe Smythe, who played in the last match, youngster, 17, he's got a little bit of potential there. It's good to see him competing with players who have played a lot of PSA tournaments.
Yeah, Joe's been doing really well. He made the New Zealand junior team this year as an individual player to go along to the individuals. So unfortunately,
they didn't get to play, did they?
Yeah, no, they didn't actually make it in the end to the Gold Coast, unfortunately. But he's been working really hard back at his base in Tauranga in the Bay. And it's really nice to see him up here this weekend in Auckland, trying to get some match play before the Junior Nationals. So there are a few other boys that possibly would have been playing this weekend, but they're playing B-grade Nationals in Palmerston North. So this weekend we've got our Super Champs champs with all the regional winners playing around all around New Zealand. So it's a big weekend of squash this weekend.
Yeah, it is. I've seen a lot of posts of people enjoying their squash around the country, and not just B grade, isn't it? Is there other grades as well playing?
Yeah, there's all grades. So J and F and E, D, C and B grade, men and women. So yeah, so we're probably one of our biggest weekends of the game is now. So it's really kind of quite nice. We've got our pros sort of competing as well this weekend.
Because they're not going to play in the graded champs around the country so much, are they?
No, there's not. There is an A grade competition that's called Mitchell Cup Cousin Shield,
Yeah, exactly.
which is actually usually held at Queen's Birthday weekend, which was cancelled this year, of course, because of COVID. So.
Yeah, so this is really useful for these players, for the top 8 men and women, and it is almost the top 8 men and women as well. There's just a couple of players missing out of the men's who would change that, and the same for the women. So
yeah, we're really happy with the level of the players this weekend. It's good for them to get some competition, but before the nationals. Junior nationals and senior nationals.
Exactly. Well, it is a busy time because with the junior nationals next weekend in Christchurch and the senior nationals just over a month, and then we've got the doubles competition where Lawamba was saying that everybody keeps on turning him down in the mixed, which is quite funny considering he's the New Zealand number 3. But yeah, it's...
yeah, that is quite funny. I think, yeah, some people have sort of got their established partners. Quite hard to sort of break those combinations sometimes. Rama's got to work a bit harder, maybe.
Exactly. Well, maybe it's just that the Lawamba and doubles aren't so great. I don't know. We'll have to see what he actually comes out with.
Yeah.
There's a distinct difference between the singles and doubles and just how you play the points. So you won a Commonwealth medal, in mixed, or was it?
Yeah, a long
doubles?
time ago. Women's doubles with Tamsin Levy. So.
Was that in Malaysia? Was it in KL?
It was in Melbourne.
Oh, there you go. Melbourne, so
Not
2006. 2006.
Yeah. But yeah, doubles is fun, especially for an individual sport. We're used to just sort of out there competing on our own and competing against all our friends, but to actually go on the court and have someone else on there with you as a team.
Call for the ball, yours, mine.
It's actually quite nice.
8-7.
So a little bit of a comeback here from Joel Arscott. He was having a little bit of a struggle through the middle periods of this game, but he's come back a little bit now. And the 1-point advantage.
Yeah, this is a really, really good game. So we have all our national squad camps here at the National Squash Centre. So these players are really definitely used to these courts.
And now Arscott really putting on the pressure. And these players are feeling. And these players really feeling the heat as well. A lot of perspiration of both players. So 9-7 now for Joel Arscott ahead of Templeton. He's focused a lot more, but that forehand just whipping it down. It was sitting at the great level for him to really take it on the full and put it wherever he wanted. And it's just 1 point back. 8-9. Both players holding the racket up the grip quite a lot for the majority of shots.
Is Glenn going for that trademark forehand kill again?
It didn't work though this time. The next shot was put right back in the backhand corner. And game ball now for Joel Arscott.
11-8.
And there we go. It is 11-8, the second game. So 1 game each for the players. There was Glenn Templeton taking the first 11-4 and Joel Arscott their second 11-8.
left. Level.
Back now at one game apiece, Glenn Templeton and Joel Ascot. It was Templeton taking the first game 11-4, but Ascot the second 11-8. Number of long rallies in this match. The forehand punch or attack from Templeton proving very useful and winning him a number of
And out.
quick points.
1 love.
Holding the ball, Templeton way at the back of the court. No opportunity there to chase it down. And in the first game, Joel Ascot really seemed a little bit off key. It's taking a while to get into the contest. Whereas in the second, he
2-1.
really altered his tactics a little bit. And Shelley Kitchen, that second game for Joel Ascot, he really seemed to focus a lot more, didn't he? The first game was a little bit off key, and the second he really did focus to get himself back in and hope for the error to come off.
Yeah, I think Glenn came out firing definitely in that first game. It just took a little while for Joel to kind of get into it.
2-1. Left box.
So just a question there of the referee. But 2-1 to Ascot. Nice shot there by Glenn, but each player using the corners well.
Down. Hand out.
And aside from a little bit of a racket drop at the end of the first game, Joel Ascot really hasn't shown much emotion on court, which is usually his.
Right up.
He really
Hand
does
out.
show some emotions, but so far we haven't seen it. There was a little bit of a racket drop after the first game, but you know, nothing too much. He's keeping it all in check at the moment.
Yeah, I think he needs to really. He can't sort of be too emotional out there. He has to really focus on what, and what he's doing. Glenn's going to keep just keep going for it, definitely. Anything loose, Glenn will try and put that ball away.
Particularly that forehand's a real weapon for him. But then he just does a bit of a shot like that one, which just seems to be a little bit forced, or maybe just not even hitting through it properly.
Yeah, I think that looked like a bit of a tired shot,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
That's a good ball, though.
But then, you know, Glenn, yeah, he has some very good shots.
Right up.
You could just see in that rally there that Joel had the time and he knew where his opponent was and was able to really place it away, take his time on the shots. So he seems to have got in where he's controlling the point a lot more. Oh.
6-2.
Yeah, he's using that corner where the ball faded away quite a lot and hitting the back wall as well, so making it difficult for Glenn Templeton to pick up.
Yeah, Joel's sort of as a man on a mission at the moment.
Yes, left. 6-2.
Sort of not taking much time in between the rallies, grabbing the ball, serving really quickly, not really letting Glenn have any time to regroup. Oh, that's a really nice shot from Glenn.
Thank you. Hand out.
And just to let people know, the two previous matches completed so far tonight. Luamba Chilisi winning in 4 games over Leo Fatilofa. And we had Elijah Thomas defeating Joe Smythe in 3 games.
It's a really good rally. They're both sort of trying
Gee, that was
take
close
the
to
volley.
just
Yeah,
going
pretty
over,
similar
wasn't
to
it?
that backhand shot drop that Glenn missed a few rallies ago. So
Initially in that rally, Glenn was controlling the middle very nicely, but then it was the retrieving of Joel Ascot that really got him back into it.
it's a great little trickle boast or tickle boast,
Yeah,
just above the tin.
it's one of those shots you try and do in practice all the time, but doesn't always come off. Or maybe you can do it in practice, but not in the game.
That was a really big point. Yeah, Joel had a loose return and Glenn, yeah, put it in the tin. Joel got a 4-point lead now. Oh.
Yes, please. 8-4, right box.
One thing that we've seen in this, the second and the third game now, is that Joel Ascot is really anticipating it very well. You'll see him move quickly. Rather than that hesitation, he's onto the ball very quickly. And it's just forcing Glenn Templeton to play that one more shot. Oh, great retrieval.
Yeah, I think Joel has probably done his homework before this match. Oh, wow. That's a fantastic shot.
It didn't, he was almost...
What's happened?
Is there...
Oh, sweat on the court.
Yeah, you could see the two of them. I mean, shirts have changed colours there. Yeah.
I think Joel's trying to hurry him up a little bit. Glenn's quite happy to take his time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't think, yeah, it wasn't too much sweat on there, but
We can't call a let after the point. That was actually one of the issues that they had during the Manchester tournament. And
was that the last point of Paul's match?
yeah,
Oh,
one
no,
of the
that
last
was
points against Fares, yeah. And I think it was the quarterfinals where he called, but only after a number of shots had actually been played after Paul had dived on the court. Yeah, that shot that Templeton just did to win that point, it was sort of on one leg as well. Sort of almost a flamingo. I think we've just invented a new shot, but it was a little bit unorthodox. So working his way back into this, the third game.
6-8.
Interesting how a short break can change an attitude.
Yeah, well, before that break, Joel was serving pretty quickly. Not really giving Glenn much of a chance to sort of compose himself before rallies. So when Glenn's winning the points, he's sort of a little bit more control with things. Yeah, great dying length from Joel there. No let from the ref.
Yeah, it was more of a hopeful let, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely nowadays I think the refereeing style is trying to play the ball a little bit more. Try and stop those stoppages, I think.
Using the backhand and then flicking across from Joel. The ball's really dying in that corner if they hit it really deep. Both players showing plenty of patience so far in this rally.
Yeah, it's really good. Just sort of not going for much. Oh, it's great length from Joel.
10-6, game ball.
All right, so the game ball, it was certainly a long rally, a good rally, and then the ball hit the backhand corner and really stayed low. Very difficult for Templeton to try and get back.
Oh, it's a great boast.
Well done.
11-6 going to Ascot. Ascot leads 2 games to 1.
And the third game going the way of Joel Ascot. So he leads by 2 games to 1 in this first round contest here in the National Squash Centre, the Invitational PSA Satellite. Joel Ascot against Glenn Templeton. And after this match, well, it'll be the final contest of the night. Tenwa Chalisi up against Sean Wigan. Right, so back in the fourth game now. And Templeton taking the first point. And really, Shelley, if he can, I was just about to say, if he can get the ball on the forehand short, he'll have a good chance of actually
Unsided as well. Please.
Oh, I thought that was a winner, and it just hit the
Yeah.
hit the big neck at the front of the court.
That's what I was a little bit confused about there. What actually?
It was just a bit of a funny bounce.
Yeah, it did seem that way.
Wow, nice shot.
Now, 1-1.
They're both laughing about it to a certain extent.
Oh wow, good length.
Yeah, yeah, well done. That's
Some good,
that's a point.
yeah, backhand down the lines there.
In fact, these last 2 points, both players managed to go forward and take it on the full and use that to their advantage.
Yeah, they're both trying to volley as much as they can. Get in front.
Yes, Led. 2.
Definitely their style of play.
Yeah, he really held back on that shot. Thought he was going to swing through and take out his opponent. So the left played.
I think just a straight kill would have been,
Yeah,
or a drop would have been,
yeah.
would have been a winner there.
I think he had too many options on that shot.
yeah.
That was the problem. I can do everything, so I'll do nothing.
I think the ball's kind of got a little bit spongy now, a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
dropped off. They sort of have to be hitting a little bit harder to get it to the back of the court.
Well, both players.
Anything short, you know, we know both of these guys are going to try and put it into the front of the court, so probably have to try and be hitting a little bit harder or higher to get it to the back of the court. But noticeably, the temperature has dropped in the centre.
Well, both players were certainly perspiring a lot, sweating a lot in the first couple. And Joel Ascott now has switched shirts. So he's put on a fresh shirt. Also noticeable that Joel does hold the racket up quite high in the grip for just about every shot. Some players change it for the shot, or just move it up and down from a serve or from whatever, but he generally will hold the racket up quite high on the grip.
Wow.
Oh, that's a
Shot.
very good backing.
Six, 2.
And Templeton having some real issues there with perspiration on his glasses. And to take that off, in fact, Joe Smythe had issues as well, and Elijah. So Shelley, is the rule that as a junior player, even if you're playing in a senior tournament, you have to still wear glasses?
Yeah, it's a PSA rule. All players under 19 in a PSA tournament have to play with the glasses on.
7, 3.
Yeah, so the ball's really got quite dead now.
Yeah, you can see that now.
So what? Yeah, one shot rallies you really have to think about.
The shots that they were making in the previous games have really aren't working quite the same.
Great shot.
Nice played into the corner. Well played into that corner. And a real struggle for Templeton to even try and flick it back. Well, that's going to be the case in Christchurch next weekend as well. Quite warm during the day. It's been about 20 degrees a lot of the days there, but certainly into the single figures. Into the single figures in the evening. So that'll be interesting as we get into those later games of the day during the Junior Nationals.
There'll be quite a few people at the court, so that usually keeps things, you know, quite warm. They're actually new courts as well, and built really quite recently, so probably good insulation. So heating and air conditioning, I think.
I'll be happy with that.
Stroke to Ascot. 7 all.
So Glenn's lost that good lead
Yeah.
that he had, and once again, Joel's sort of speeding up the play.
It just seems to be that every time I see Joel play, he just almost seems to prefer
Down, hand out.
being down to actually come back.
8, 7.
It's almost like an anger issue that I've got to get down so I can get angry and motivate myself to get back up.
Sort of gives himself a chance to reset,
Yeah.
I think, when he's down.
I think most players would rather be up and leading the whole time rather than actually be down.
9, 7.
Well, that was a prime opportunity for him to go from 7 all to take that next point and look towards the match.
So the way he was winning his points in the other games is just keeping the rallies really quite long, still taking it short and moving Glenn around, but not forcing the shot so much.
Up. 10, 7.
And Glenn is definitely a confidence player, so if he's out in front, it's really quite hard to stop him.
Well, he hasn't been able to use that killer forehand so much in the last 2 games. But if we do go to the 5th, it'll be interesting to see if he can bring it back. Good play by both players using the corners well, deep into the corners.
Glenn had an opportunity there to maybe do more than that drop. Oh,
Good play.
there's that kill.
That was a great shot, just so low over the tin as well. So taking the 4th game and forcing us into the 5th, the first one of the night, Glenn Templeton, 11-7 in that one.
Game score 2-all. One love.
Well, we're back on court for the fifth and deciding game. The first and the fourth taken by Glenn Templeton. The second and the third were won by Joel Ascott in a very competitive game.
No red. Hand out.
Good-natured game in the sense that these two players, they've had a couple of questions of the officials, but nothing too serious. And the ball certainly dying quite a lot and getting a bit softer, Shelley Kitchen, in the third and fourth games, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, the temperature has definitely cooled down. The ball's got quite spongy as well. So that's actually started off with a new ball. New ball usually flies around a little bit, but so Glenn, I think the ref's saying probably the wrong line to the ball,
Yep.
possibly.
Straight to Templeton. 2-all.
Glenn was right there, and the ball was there, and also Joel
Yep.
was there, so you kind of see
Yeah,
how
so
it
it
was a
was-
stroke.
Tight on that corner.
Hand out. 3-2.
And don't forget, we do have one more match remaining, Tenwa Chilisi against Sean Wigan tonight as well. A busy first night of this, the National Squash Centre Invitational.
No red.
It's getting quite competitive now.
Yeah.
Hand out.
And
In the
let's
fifth
have a look at
game,
this.
let's see if
I think I'm agreeing with the officials on that one.
I think Joel was actually through the ball then. For the first match back for these boys, for no competition play for a very long time, it is good quality. Maybe a couple of sort of errors like that Joel just did. Maybe under a little bit of pressure.
Well, as Tenwa, I make that brother, Luamba Chilisi mentioned, it is his first PSA event since February. For these players here, they did play in the summer series that we did have around the region. That was I think it was about March, April.
That was February and March.
Was it February, March?
Yeah.
So still a long time ago for these players.
Yes, left.
6 months. The two players out on court here did take part of the Unsquashable series at Squash Excel. So they had tournament play there. But still, PSA
Yeah, that happened
just
straight
adds-
after lockdown, our first
Yeah.
lockdown. They went into four tournaments in a row, which was which was really good. You could see the improvement after each week. And then since then, so we've just sort of had some open tournaments, club tournaments here.
But it's the sort of
And then
prize
nothing
money
to
and the points that add that little bit to it, don't they? Just knowing that, hey, if I win this match, it's going to get me a couple of points or a couple of extra dollars that really wins you
Yeah,
or
yeah,
makes you that competitive out on court, doesn't it?
yeah. All the players here in the men's draw are PSA ranked. Joe's in his first year of being a PSA member. The others have been members for
Quite a number of years.
12 to
for some of them,
18, yeah, and 2 years, sometimes longer. So
And Tenwa, I'm getting the two of them mixed up. Luamba at 148 in the world, his career high, which makes him the third ranked New Zealander behind number 5 Paul Cole and Evan Williams at around about the 80 mark.
6-4.
Joel's sort of 2 points clear at the moment, but anything can happen in the fifth game.
Well, neither player's done that much in the fifth game to really. That was a good shot though. That helped.
7-4.
But otherwise, no player's really done anything to say, look, I'm going to win this. Let's have a look at the replay here. And a nice.
Yeah, Joel sort of looked like he was maybe going to take it in short, a little drop, and then cross-court it past Glenn, which that movement is really quite hard, quite low down for Glenn. Oh. Both players trying to control the tee a little bit.
Much better rally by both players.
Definitely getting to the business end of the game now, match now.
5-7.
It's usually a few lets around this stage in the 5th game.
Always in the 5th game, huh? Wasn't so much in the 1st, but now in the 5th when there's a lot more on it. Yeah, it's a better point there by Joel. But then got the lead. 3 points. Perhaps the confidence after that one as well.
Joel's really kind of control that tee right now. And making hurrying Glenn up in between those points again. So
Straight to Ascot. 10-5.
It was almost a relaxed forehand there. But
oh, match ball.
yeah, it sort of came up pretty quickly, didn't it?
Hand out.
Didn't need to do that, Joel. Could have stayed in it a bit longer.
Next ball.
4 points to get it back. It's been done before,
Yeah.
lots of times. Ah,
11.
yeah.
All right, here we
Great
go.
match, first back.
11-6 there in the final. And it was 3 games to 2 for Joel Ascot, defeating Glenn Templeton and taking that match. So one of the winners through. Well done there to Joel Ascot. And their final match about to go on the court in just a few moments' time. Tenwa Chalisi against Sean Wigan.
yeah, getting that game and saying I lost in 4 doesn't sound too bad. So yeah.
All right. Well, it's good to have you in this tournament, and then you're also in Christchurch the end of this week coming up as well for the Junior Nationals. Should I ask then, how's school? Because you're actually getting to go to school much? Because it's been a bit weird, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Haven't been to school that much. Oh, just because of COVID, but like, yeah.
Well, I mean, COVID and everything else.
Yeah,
You're playing squash as well.
yeah, we've been at school for like the last 4 to 5 weeks, so yeah, pretty busy. Had mock exams, but yeah, just pretty busy. Getting all the internals were clashing, so had to catch up on a lot of things at school. So yeah, pretty busy.
And for the Junior Nationals starting, when is it, on Friday? I think it's next Friday. Or is it Thursday or Friday? No,
I think it's Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
You're in the under-19s, and that's going to be some pretty decent players as well.
Yeah, they're going to be tough. Got Elijah at 1, 2 is Glenn, 3, and then 4 is...
I think we've got Riley.
Yeah, it's all the lads.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah. Boys, isn't it?
We're
There's
on,
Riley, there's Jack Condor in there. There's a few others as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to be... I mean, there's basically half a dozen to 8 of you. If you
Yeah.
go through the quarterfinals, you're all pretty much
Yeah, we all...
similar, aren't you? We all
Yeah.
know each other.
We all know... Yeah, that's an understatement. We've
You're sick of each other.
knew each other since we were like 10.
Yeah.
It was just
Well,
crazy.
it makes for good competition anyway for the future of squash. And I'm sure you remember last year. I think it was on this court or the one next door where Glenn Templeton defeated Elijah Thomas in 5 games. I think he was down and then did a sort of dramatic comeback that he does.
Yeah, that...
And that was the final there. So
yeah.
plenty of good squash for you. What about this match? What are you expecting here with Tim? You've seen him play a lot. And Sean, the oldest man in the actual in the competition at 25, makes him a real veteran. You expecting things to start off this well for Timwa?
Yeah, Tim was really powerful on the ball. Oh, yeah, but like really strong. He's got a lot of structure in his game, but yeah, he's very powerful on the ball, and like loves that tee too. But like Squiggles likes. Oh, sorry, Sean. We call him Squiggle, but like yeah, he loves to twist you and move you from experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So you played him before, Squiggle, Sean?
Yeah, I've never beaten him. I always play. Well, he always makes me play bad against him. He just loves moving me around and just making me tired. Yeah.
Yeah. He's sort of one of those guys who may not be the most powerful or anything like that, but he knows how to.
But he's good on that volley. He loves to move the ball around a lot.
It was interesting. He's a very good tennis player as well, and I'm sure moving forward he's
tennis, table tennis.
Yeah.
All the racket sports.
Okay, yeah. So really, you wouldn't want to take him on any of those. You're going to have to find something to beat him in.
Yeah.
You have to beat him in squash and then beat him in maybe golf or something like that. I don't know what else.
Having some good rallies here.
Yeah.
Top spin. Oh, nice and early.
That was.
He loves to take it early. Squiggles. Tim was just taking his time. Oh, top spinny. Nice. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, after all that long rally, and he.
Sean did well, just to stay in that rally and try and move Tim around, but
That's
unlucky.
the thing. He can stay in there a lot, and he does force you to do that extra shot, doesn't he?
Yeah. Sean likes that hold, especially on the volley. I was holding that volley and then, yeah, I forgot what I just said. But, ooh, nice and tight.
Yeah. What about when the ball's that tight to the wall? What do you have to do? You have to let it go through to the back wall, or what can you actually do? 'Cause
Well, you can try and swing, and hopefully it will come off and it'll go on the front wall. But yeah, it could be safer just to leave it go.
That's a
Let
nice,
it go back down to the back and just try and hit off the back wall. But yeah. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, well played. It was very well played. The thing was, he was patient in that one. He probably wanted to finish it earlier, but he was quite patient. And,
Nice and steady.
so game ball already. It's been Even though it's been some long rallies, it seems to have gone whipped through, hasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh,
that is a nice... Yeah, that's one of my shots. I like to play those shots, especially when it's like 10-5. Even though it's risky, I just like doing it just to try and change the momentum.
You've got nothing to lose, have you?
Yeah. Well, you do have something to lose the set, but like, you know, doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe it does matter to some people, but oh yes, good change of direction.
Oh, well played. I mean, some good quality shots coming out here.
Yeah.
What about for you getting into the match? It seemed to take both of you a little while to really find your feet and you know, create good rallies and things like that when you played against Luamba.
Yeah, Luamba's well, like, yeah, it's tough to play someone like him because you need to really be on fire. Well, like, get moving, when you play him. You can't really just be still when you play him. You gotta, just be ready to have a good long rally with him.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice. Hold flick.
Certainly
Here we go, the block. Oh, no.
Changes in direction here from both players having to...
Ooh. Nice cross-court nick from Tim on the backhand.
Oh, yeah,
I'm sure he was going for that one.
Yeah, because you're having trouble following it. Where's he going to hit? It looked almost as if he was down the line, then held it and flicked it across.
I think he was meant to do that, though, you know.
He'll say he did.
Yeah.
But, well done on that one. So Timo taking out the first game, and that was 11-7. Certainly wasn't easy by any means. We're back with the second game in just a moment.
True.
Ready now for the second game of this, the final match on day one of the National Squash Centre Invitational PSA Satellite Tournament at Unitec here in Auckland. Now, it's been a reasonably warm spring day in Auckland, 18 degrees or thereabouts. Cooled down a lot now though, and the ball probably a bit squishy, wouldn't you say there, Leo? Maybe, I'm not sure if you saw in the last match, but the players were sort of finding it in the fourth and fifth that it was a bit soft, maybe. I don't know how it was for your game, because it was still quite warm when you started at about 5:30, was it?
Yeah, my game, the ball was just so bouncy, man. It was like, I was like, oh man, how am I going to play some drops? It's just going to bounce back and Louis just going to be like 2 steps to it. So I was like, oh man, I wish I should have changed the ball before the game. Maybe my drops would all would have been lower, my shots. But yeah, it's all right.
Certainly noticed in the last match how it really, in the last couple
died down.
Yeah, they were really struggling, Glenn and Joel, to the feel of the ball seemed to change, and it's amazing how that can happen in an actual match.
Yeah, it does. Especially when you just keep smashing it, just the ball softens and then gets a bit slower. So then that's when you can try and slot. Or when you go short, it just stays short. So, yeah. A lot of volleys now. Trying to take it early.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
As long as you've got the right ball to volley on, you don't want to do it on the wrong ball.
Ooh. Oh, change of direction. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, but he had it then. And
Yeah.
that's one of his favourite shots, isn't
That's
it? To actually take it like that, you'd
That's
expect
an
him
unlucky
to.
use right there. But it's all good.
So Sean Wiggin has got a PSA ranking at the moment. Well, his high has been 196. Currently, what is it, 207? And Tim, well, he's 335, his highest ranking, which is what he's at the moment. I think the whole thing for Tim was that he just wanted to play PSA tournaments, and it would have gone up, but he wasn't able to actually play.
Yeah.
Great to play out at the unsquashable tournaments at Squash XL, but they
Yeah.
weren't PSA tournaments.
Yeah, that event went well. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys must have got sick of each other, though, after 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks of playing each other.
Yeah.
And losing
But I
in
mean,
the first round.
it's still good to get on a court like that. It's still good to get so many matches. And don't forget, if you're watching, from 10 a.m. tomorrow, the start of the women's matches, and that is Ella Lash against Emma Miller. Emma, the New Zealand #3 at the present time. And then on the second court, we have Lauren Clark against Natalie Says, and also other matches. We have Abby Palmer against Ashley Pepper. Lana Harrison's also in the draw as well. So a wide variety of players there, about half a dozen of them with a PSA. So that's Abby Palmer, Emma Miller, Lauren Clark, Katie Templeton, Lana Harrison, Natalie Says, Ella Lash and Ashley Pepper, the 8 competitors in the women's draw, which starts tomorrow. You've just seen the replay there. And Temwa Chalisi. A handy little lead, although that one going right to the corner and struggling on that. Sean Wiggin doesn't go away, does he? He's, just sort of there. You can't really put him away.
Yeah. Just tries to stay in there, scramble. It's good. Scrambling and attacking at the same time. Oh, yeah. Tim was trying to control that tee. Skug was just trying to get him off there.
Yeah, you could see the movement there. It was
He's trying to mix
around.
it up. Oh, yeah. Oh, lob.
We got onto that very quickly.
Oh, he got that. Straight drive. Nice. Ooh.
Using that forehand side,
This
flipped across.
intensity is unreal. Oh, yeah. Oh, he got that one back. And he volleyed that one.
Oh,
He got it.
He did.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Look at this movement from both players. This is Egyptian style. Oh. What a rally.
It's a great rally. Well done to Temwa Chalisi taking it in the end, but Sean Wiggin, he was there or thereabouts. And that was the replay. Sean Wiggin just not been able to get to that final ball in the forehand corner.
Oh, yeah.
So if these two are playing Egyptian style, what would you call your style, Leo? Just your own?
Yeah, my style's pretty random. Sometimes I try to grind it, even though that's not my specialty. But then,
agree with that.
yeah, sometimes if it's there, I'll just go for it. Like, yeah, I don't really know. My style is, yeah, I think it changes on different players. Yeah, when I play different players, I try to play differently.
Yeah.
What
Fair enough.
I think suits the game. But yeah. Oh yes, I like those shots.
He just chopped it
changes.
across.
Yeah, it changes the rhythm, the movement, and hopefully the ankles go. Oh, Tim was off for
string?
String, yeah, the strings.
The strings of squash rackets don't appear to break as much as tennis strings.
Yeah, well, tennis,
Using
the
more
strings are
spin.
pretty hard, like, on the racket, eh? That makes sense.
I would have thought, or maybe it's just me when I play squash, that more rackets would break against the wall. But then that probably is me.
Yeah.
The judgment against the wall that we're talking about before, my judgment can't be that good. Maybe it's just at lower grades people break their rackets more.
Yeah, some rackets are unbreakable, I guess, like unsquashable. No. But yeah, some rackets just go. Ooh. 7-6, very tight.
So he's worked his way back in as Sean Wigan and took that 1 point lead now. And it's like we said, you just have to be so patient against him. He's just got great control of the ball.
Yeah,
and
Sean
of
is
the racket.
really placing the ball nicely. Just placing it where Tim wasn't. Moving him, making him think, using different heights. Oh,
Yep. No one rally is the
Oh,
same.
yes.
Oh, goodness, that was
that was a nice B flick. It was just a
Rack it
flick
up.
of the wrist. Yeah.
No one rally is the same against him, is it?
No, yeah, it's all different.
That was a great flick.
Yeah. Oh, lucky. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's very nice from Sean.
Yeah, no, he's
Nice hold. Making it really unpredictable.
and the replay there just showing he just chopped a little bit to take the pace off on that drop shot as well.
Nice post from Timoa.
You know, no one rally is the same against Sean, so you really have to adapt your game,
Yeah.
you know, rather than try and play to his, because
Yeah,
you
his
how do you
game.
play to his.
Serve out.
Ooh. Well,
Ooh,
that's a little bit unusual, isn't it? You
yeah.
don't see that too often from players at this level.
Yeah, well, everyone serves out, I guess. Like, even top players like, oh, I won't say names. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gee, wins that one.
1-1.
Oh, goodness. So 1-1, and what a great point to win on it, just
Yeah.
stopped. So 11-7 or 7-11 there, with Sean Wigan taking the second game, and it's one game apiece between these two players in the last game of the session. Don't forget, tomorrow starts at 10 a.m. with the women's singles. We're back very shortly with the third game of this match between Timo Chilisi and Sean Wigan. And back into the third game. Exciting so far between Temwa Chalisi and Sean Wigan, and 11-7 the first one to Chalisi, and 7-11 Sean Wigan the second. And Leo Farialofa, this tournament's been put on pretty quickly for you, the players, to get some practice. And I guess about a week ago you didn't realise that you were actually going to be playing tonight or over this weekend, did you?
Yeah. It's a bit unexpected, but no, it's good. It's good to see how we're all playing, especially for Glenn and Elijah, because we're all playing in Nationals next week.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And good to have someone like Lawamba back in the tournament as well. I mean, you're sort of fresh, all that, but that you've seen him before. But it's kind of fresh after, he hasn't really been playing in New Zealand this year.
Yeah,
so someone a little bit different.
No, yeah, it's good to play him and see how he's improved, and trying to play your best against him.
Oh, nice play. Gee, holds that one well and just above the 10.
It's really nice.
Yeah, that's a good play.
I'm going to make a quick shout out to my mate, Campbell Webster.
Oh,
one and only, the top spinner. Yeah, he's the man at top spinning. He just slots it, You don't want to give him a floaty because he's just going to put it away. So, yeah, shout out to that guy.
Okay, no, that's
see you next week, brother.
Oh, yeah, he'll be...
Wait, oh no, you're too old, eh?
He's too old.
Yeah, you're too old, sorry. That was a shocker, but yeah, surely still come down.
He'll be there for the for the senior nationals, though, and I'm sure Evan Williams is trying to train him up to play against you.
Yeah, no, it's good. True.
How many more years have you still got to go? Another couple of years, haven't you?
I just turned 17.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, 2 more years in the juniors. Oh, my get. Oh,
gee.
Yes.
They were both so close to each other and both so close to the front wall as well.
Yeah. I like that from Sean. Loves how
he's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
It's
he just gives it all. Tries to get to every ball.
He's not quite a pinball Jack Condor. He's not quite bouncing off the walls, but he certainly gives it everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, just stayed in.
Oh, still trying to volley those
How
ones.
did he take that on the volley?
Yeah, still trying to volley defensively. That's really cool. Just trying to...
Oh, it's a bit daring, isn't it?
Volleying down the back.
A bit risky.
Yeah, it's risky. But then, he loves to take it early. So I guess, yeah, that's nice from Temwa.
So a handy lead. He's about to take that on the forehand. It was Sean, but then switched around to the backhand.
Oh, top spinny.
Yeah. So that was a real tennis shot.
Try to volley that one, Temwa.
Yeah, stick to your own game, Tim. Well, let him do the volleys.
Yeah, no, that was a bit uncharacteristic of him, but it's all good.
I mean, that's the thing. Against someone like Sean, he'll drag you into playing his game, won't he?
Yeah. See.
And if he drags you in, you know that your chances are a little bit more difficult if you're trying to play his game.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's nice.
Ooh, drop from the back. That's more like it. Oh, loose one. Ooh, trickle boast. Nice.
Oh. Yeah, he didn't really help himself with that one. It was too short, wasn't it? And Wigan was able to come in.
Himself up there, but it's all good. Body drop, the serve. Ooh.
Oh.
Unlucky.
Yeah, the lift was too much lift on that one.
Yeah. Caught the net.
So 6-3 is now 6-all.
Oh, taxi. I don't think he knew where that ball went. Let's look on the replay. Oh, it's gone.
It was a quick replay.
Yeah, it was a quick one.
Yeah, that one I don't think either player really knew where it was going.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Jeez. I love how they're going short off the serves now. Return. Tim was doing a bit of court spins right now. It's good to see. Ooh, unforced from Sean.
He'd got himself into a good position as well. Played an unorthodox shot
replay.
To start.
Let's look at the replay. Yeah. That's his signature shot, though.
Yeah.
The backhand volley cross-court drop.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be as one where if he can play it across, doesn't play it down the line so much, but certainly cross court.
Yeah. This is technique. Just makes it very unpredictable and tricky. Just yeah, I find it really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be a fascinating one to watch as a top coach and to sort of look at what he does. Oh, you wouldn't necessarily recommend what he does to your junior student, but it would be fascinating to watch it. What we need is one of the Egyptians to play like him.
Yeah. 9-8. Still pretty close. See if she goes short off a serve. Oh, no.
Oh, that's a good.
Oh, yes.
Yep, nice play.
Look at that straight
was
from
great.
Temwa, yeah. That was a beast shot. Look on the replay. And then ready. Bam. Yeah. Oh, quick rally. Oh, that's nice. Oh, he's going to volley.
Oh,
Yes, of course he's going to volley that one. That was...
Oh,
Why did I even question myself? Oh, what a rally. Get that.
oh, gee.
Try to be Paul Cole.
Yeah, I think so. That was fantastic.
Look at the replay. Look at Timmer's dive up the front. Surely this goes on PSA Squash TV.
Whee.
Oh,
That was a nice slide. I mean, it was a
bit
double
unlucky.
dive.
yeah, it was a double dive.
A double dive. And it almost came off as well. That second dive, it was very
Oh.
close to getting it back.
Second dive was a bit risky.
Yeah, I mean,
It looked like it was going to be on its third bounce, but you know, it's all good.
yeah, yeah.
It's all for the spectators who are
Well,
watching right now.
he would have had to
21 watching right now.
No, there's actually more than that. Don't worry
Oh,
about
there's
that. A lot more than that.
Sorry.
No. We're happy. We just haven't got the chat thing on. That'll be good because we'll get all your friends coming on and having a chat to you. And the guy's just stopping there. No, more sweat. Well, we have to almost extract Temwa Chalisi from the court. Almost embedded himself in the back wall. But certainly a great effort. What it does mean, though, Leo, is that Sean's really in this. You look
Yes,
at
he
it,
is really in
9-10,
this game.
and he's
But,
kept himself here. He's got the serve.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do now. If they're going to try and go for the winning shot or...
What was that rule that we had at Unsquashable where it was like you could go win by 2 or...
Oh, yeah, the long or short.
Yeah.
The long or short game.
That was quite an interesting rule.
It was.
Whether you were daring enough to go for it or whether you wanted to
Yeah.
actually win by 2.
Oh, yes. Oh, he went for the glory shot. Nice and early. Oh, Squiggles is already
Oh, that's
there.
in the
though.
back. Oh,
Oh,
great.
yes. This game is just getting more intense. Oh, he got that
Oh, no.
again. Oh, that is
double.
beautiful.
All right.
That is a beautiful shot from Sean. Let's look at the replay. Oh, yes. Look at that counter drop from Sean. Just boom.
How he could
No
still
one
win
was
it.
getting that back. Not even
Yeah,
Archie Baby.
Chalisi wasn't that far away, but it was still...
Yeah, no, just how early he took that one. And it just glued to the wall. Oh,
And Temwa trying with power on this.
yeah. Oh, yes. Volley.
Oh,
Loves a volley. Oh, he's going to block him. Oh. Lift. Sean is taking it so early. Like earlier than I wake up in the morning. Just what the hell?
oh. Oh, he's, it really is as if he's at the net in tennis or
It's like
maybe
he's-
in badminton.
It's like he's
perhaps.
not allowed for the ball to hit the back wall. He's just volleying it so early. Oh,
Oh,
yes, change of direction. He loves it, eh? Oh, yeah,
Oh.
that's very good. Oh, Temwa got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. I thought he had it one earlier, but Temwa was able to get that one
I
back.
think
And
it's just
now
the
we're at 11-8.
mistakes. The mistakes Sean just needs to worry about because he's really putting Temwa under a lot of pressure here. But those mistakes are what Temwa is trying to, trying
Yeah.
to make him do. Just try to
Well,
stay
we're
him.
certainly seeing some very entertaining rallies. And don't forget to tell your mates about it to tune in over the next 2 days because Oh, and then the mistake after such great rallies to get there.
Yeah, I know. Come on. We want some more rallies. I want that backhand volley cross-court flick from Sean again.
You love it.
Yes, I like that shot.
You're going to have to ask him how to do it. You could do it
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's a good shot.
No let.
See the replay. What do you guys think that call was? What are your thoughts on that one?
I'm thinking, I agree with the umpires on this one.
12-all.
Tenwai, if he could have moved across to his right. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Could you have made it?
I'm not really a good ref, but yeah, I probably wouldn't be reffing anyway. But if I was to call that, I'd just say probably let because I don't know. Oh, he did it again. That is the shot I'm talking about.
13-12.
That's probably going to be the shot of this tournament.
Yeah.
Such,
Oh.
yeah.
If he wins this,
It'll be interesting to see if Sean wins the set. Oh, is he going to do it? Oh, he did it. See?
oh, that's, gee, I don't know how he picked that one up.
Oh, see? He's not even letting it go to the back wall. That's how early Sean wants to take it. And
So
look,
there we go.
he takes that
14,
set.
12, and up by 2 games to 1 now.
He's the
and
man on a
that
mission
is
right now.
Sean Wiggin taking that.
It's like he's playing a conditioned game where you can't let the ball hit the back wall. Because like he just, early. Don't let it hit the back wall. Yeah, just...
It's actually
so
not
amazing.
a stupid idea, though, to actually train your players to go forward all the time. And if you're
Yeah.
good enough in the air,
Yeah.
take the ball in the air, do it that way.
Yeah, no, it's good. He's really putting Tim under a lot of pressure. And yeah, it's paying off, so... Okay.
All right, I'm just looking at the schedule for tomorrow. Lauren Clark against Natalie Says, first up. That is at 10 o'clock. That is on the second court. And on this court, Ella Lash against Emma Miller. And we also have Abby Palmer, the New Zealand number 2, against Ashley Pepper. Lana Harrison against Katie Templeton, and Leo Fatialofa against Joe Smythe will be the initial matches, the early stages of tomorrow. So plenty of great squash to come over the next couple of days, and this, the PSA Invitational.
Time. Wigan leads 2 games to 1.
And now we're back in this, the fourth game, final match of the night. It is Tenwai Chalisi against Sean Wiggin, and Sean Wiggin taking the third, 14-12, after he won the second 11-7. Chalisi winning the first 11-7 as well. So it's been quite an interesting contest, Leo Fatialofa, because we've seen the great style, or the slightly unorthodox style, of Sean Wiggin. Particularly that backhand cross-court, just fantastic to watch, and very difficult for others to emulate.
Yeah, it's very hard to read. Especially because of his technique, the way he just presents that shot. Just, yeah, it's pretty unorthodox. That's why it makes it so tricky. Oh, yeah.
Oh, just too far.
Good honesty from Sean. Even though...
Well, he's a good, honest player in the sense of the way he plays as well. It's putting everything into it.
Yeah.
And you can't fault him for that. But
Let's
he's
see
so
if he
difficult.
let's see if he lets the ball go back and hit the back wall. Look,
We can
so
almost do it a
he's
dollar
taking it
for every
early.
time.
See, look, he's not even letting it hit the back wall. So he takes it early.
Should we do a dollar for every time it hits or something like
Yeah, he wouldn't be very rich.
that? No,
He'd be poor.
exactly.
Sean, let it off the back wall. That's a no sir from him. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there's the
finally.
one.
There we go. He lets it off the back wall. Nah, back into it. Ooh, see, that's what happens, Sean. As soon as he lets it off the back wall, you know. I think he has to play
It's a
that.
curse.
Yeah, he has to play that game. Just take it early. Oof. Good lob. Nice. Oh. Playing drops from the back.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
3-1.
So Timwa with the 3-1 lead after playing a good cross-court forehand right into the corner. And then on the volley again. Ooh. Both of these players really try to come forward, take the ball on the volley, take it on the full. Dying in that corner.
It's nice from Sean. Good scrambling. Ooh.
And Jalisi just taking the 4-1 lead.
Yeah, Tim was.
I don't know what he would have got talked or told in the break by coaches. What would you have told him?
Well, I think I'm not really a good coach, but I just like tell the players.
You've said you're not a good ref or a coach.
Yeah, I'm not really.
just sticking with the playing.
I'm not a good coach, but like I just tell them what I'd do, because like I don't really know their game, so I just say, you know, if I was to play Sean, not to give him any loose ones, you know, and like just expect them to try and take it early. So just be careful not to get into his rhythm, and just try and just stay in front and use your space against him, and
Well,
just
that
let
actually
him,
sounds
let
like
him
good
run
advice.
around you.
Well, you just coached yourself, and I think that was pretty good advice. Now you've got to put into practice whenever you next play him.
Yeah. Oh, he served it out. That's twice.
But that is not good, though.
Yeah, let's look at that replay. What a ratchet.
No, that was ugly, and
Oh, he missed it.
not a good way to give away a point either. I mean, that's
Replay.
you can almost handle, the 20th shot of a rally,
Yeah.
but on the first shot you've given away a free point.
8-2.
Well, he's raced away with this one so far. That's not to say that Sean won't do a comeback. He's got the skills to do it.
Ooh.
And out. 3-8.
The thing with Sean, he's, some people might say he looks rattled, but he looks like that from point one. So it's not like
Yeah,
he's
it's just the
changing.
way he plays. He's very quick. Like, very quick, even though he takes a lot of steps to the ball. But yeah, he's very quick on the ball and loves to play at a fast pace.
I mean, there's not much of him.
Yeah. Oh, yes, trickle. Oh, nice from
gee, that's-
Temwa. Oh, he got that back. Oh,
Playing that corner.
get
good.
that.
On the volley, and
Nice.
that's what helped him.
That's a nice rally right there. Nice and quick, Egyptian style. Nice and short.
But just in that forehand corner
Yeah.
that we're,
Look at that. That's outrageous.
that replay. The
Oh,
key for
lobs
that
it
one
out.
was Timwa managed to take it on the volley.
This looks like Tim was going to take this set.
Well, he's come out of the change very quickly, controlling the pace. Sean just lacking a little something in this. Oh, no. Tim, I was about to say that Sean appears to be lacking something in this particular game. Still getting
Yeah, I
that
think
point
just
back.
Tim was really up the game and up the intensity, playing a lot more. Ooh, went for it.
Okay, well, there we go.
Having a 5-setter, lads.
Another 5-setter. We always like to do these 5-setters. Isn't it compulsory that the last game of the night has to go 5? I think it's compulsory. It's not always fun. Well, it's a fun match to watch, but it's always when people want to get going, and then we decide that we're going to go to 5. But well done there for Tim Wachilisi, coming back strong on that one. And Sean Wigan, well, this one's going to be an interesting one to see if he can hold out physically. He's certainly very fit, but has Tenwa got the boost that he needs? And we'll come back with you very shortly, Leo Farialofa.
Two games all.
Leo Farialofa has worked out what he's meant to have done for dinner. And I'm not sure what it is. I don't think he really knows either.
Hopefully Burger feels open. Get that bacon backfire with cream of fries, surely.
Okay. Well, I'm sure your family will appreciate you picking that up for them. And Leo, don't forget to say thank you to your mum who puts up with you.
Yeah, big shout out to my mum. She's the best. Yeah, love you. And also I want to give a good shout out to my coach, Glenn Wilson, and also my cousin Charles. And I want to give a big shout out to the B grades because I want them to, they're in the final tomorrow, so yeah, hopefully they do well and they take it out, bring the trophy back home to Auckland. So yeah, good luck, lads.
All right.
Go up, Mason, Jordan, Lance, Michael, Odin, and Ashton. You guys got this.
I think we got all the Henderson club there. Back onto this match, and Tim Wachilisi against Sean Wigan. First point to Chilisi. And just see the tempo of this, the second point already. Oh, floating that one into the back corner. Oh. So Chilisi just staying steady on that point. And it appeared that Sean Wigan was just trying to force a little bit too much there.
Tim was controlling this rally.
A lot of running already by Sean. He actually ran around in a circle around Tim where he was controlling the tees so well.
Oh, nice.
Point, that's a better point.
Good honesty from Timwa.
Much better point from Sean Wigan. Got one back. Just to go through the other winners so far today. And we had Luamba, Chilisi, Elijah Thomas, and also, what we have, Joel Ascott against Glenn Templeton in that match that went 5 as well.
4-1.
4-1. See if Sean can change this score around.
Nice on the volley.
Oh,
Hand out.
he held him there.
2-4.
Oh, he did it. Oh, yeah. Tim was expecting that one. I think Tim was, yeah, he's getting used to those flicks now, eh?
Yep.
He's reading them.
Well, he's worked it out.
Yeah, he's
and,
right. Yeah. 'Cause
And that point there in that
Sean's
replay.
played, like, you know, a lot of them, like 20 of them, so I guess Tim was caught on to that. Oh, early.
It's almost as if Timwar has taken a leaf out of his opponent's book and has decided to hit
Yeah.
everything on the volley as well.
Yes. Yeah. It's good, and he's really strong on that ball too, just hitting it real tight and with power. Oh, nice triple. Really controlling this rally right here. Look at that form as well.
Yeah, it looks as though that Sean Wigan has perhaps just lost a little bit of that zing, and he hasn't quite been
Yeah,
able
I
to
think
maintain
it's
it.
just Timwar how he's just caught onto it, you know, just getting used
Just
to that
yeah.
style of Sean's now in the 5th set. So
Well, it took him
it
5
took him
games.
it took him 4 sets to read Sean now. So Sean's got to write something new in his book. Try add a few more. Oh,
Just misread that one. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
happened there. Did he?
I think he just miscalculated where to put his racket.
He almost recovered, but not quite in the end. So dropping that point. And
Hand out. 8-3.
so a decent lead. You would think. How does it feel when you're up 8-3? You really.
Yeah, when
probably
you're up
feel-
8-3, just think you're gonna like you should win. You should
Yeah.
win this set because you're up.
Yeah,
So
you've only got 3 more
if
to
you
go.
lose, then it's like, oh come on, like what a shocker! Like you know, you don't want to lose when you're up that
Yeah.
much, eh? And you should just try and just keep going and.
You shouldn't change your game plan. You should
Yeah.
just do what you're
Just
doing
keep-
already.
Yeah.
And just, it is 9-3. Scoreboard 1 behind at the moment.
Nice.
It's good to get one back.
4-8.
4-8.
4-9, sorry.
4-9, yes. It is definitely 4-9. All right, and the scoreboard back up to date. 4-9. 2 points away for Timwar Chalisi to take this in 5. He's just not going to feel totally secure.
5-9.
In fact, definitely not going to feel secure when you're playing against Sean Wigan.
Sean looks like he's getting his momentum back.
Ooh, taking it again up high. Right into that backhand corner.
10-5. Match ball.
Has 5 match balls now, so let's see if he can prevail. Yep.
Well done. That is it. Final match completed for night 1 and 11-5 in the 5th and final set. So 11-7, 7-11, 12-14 and 11-5 there. So win to Timwar Chalisi and Leo Farialofa. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
No worries.
And,
Thank you
we'll
for
be
having
seeing
me.
you tomorrow and as the tournament continues. So thank you very much.
Cheers.
We'll be back, folks, tomorrow from 10 a.m. with the National Squash Centre Invitational, a PSA satellite tournament put on by Squash New Zealand.